Many DC fans are excited and rejoicing with the return of Cavill as Superman in the DCEU. But new details have emerged recently that Warner Bros. AT&T apparently fired Henry Cavill after the supposed poor reception of him and the films he starred in. We know the past regime at Warner Bros. Was anything but appreciative of what Henry Cavill, and by extension Zack Snyder, had built when it comes to the DC films. It undoubtedly had to do with the poor box office performance of Batman vs. Superman and 2017's Justice League, but also the way many within the organization wanted to take control themselves. In an attempt to distance themselves from those divisive films, they pushed forward with a DC universe that had no Batman or Superman, at least shown on screen. This was because they were looking for ways to re-establish the DCEU with new faces to lead the franchise into the future. Luckily though for fans, AT&T was unable to keep Warner Bros. Under their management and sold them to Discovery. This was the change the DC brand needed, and in less than 6 months' time, the future of the DCEU is looking brighter than ever before. Yes, we have Dwayne Johnson to thank for the return of Cavill, but let's not act like Henry and his manager Danny Garcia haven't been pushing for this return for years. It just so happens that things only recently began to fall into place that would allow the biggest return in superhero film history to take place. As the release of Black Adam was getting closer and closer, rumors began to swirl that there would once again be a faceless Man of Steel taking part in yet another DCEU project, similar to his fake appearance in Shazam and Peacemaker. But shortly following one of the first press screenings, it was revealed not only was Superman in the movie, but it was Henry Cavill in all his glory. While there was debate on what version of the character we were seeing, whether it's the Zack Snyder Justice League version or that following 2017's Justice League, the real question was whether we would be getting more of him in future movies, or more specifically, his own solo film, to follow up what is considered a masterpiece, Man of Steel. Well, according to a report from The Hollywood Reporter, it seems that a solo Superman film is in the very, very early stages of development and are currently in search of writers. For anyone who is a Superman fan, this is absolutely great news. Unfortunately, though, this is where things are going to begin to get a little divisive amongst the fans. A debate has already taken root on who will helm this movie, with many calling for Zack Snyder to return, while others want a fresh new take on the lore. For me, I think the best route to go is to call up Christopher McQuarrie and see if he's still interested in using the story he and Cavill pitched to the old regime a few years back. We know Cavill was passionate about this possibility, and with a solid director like McQuarrie, it's hard to go wrong. I know this will upset many Snyder fans, but be patient. As I have said, if you want the Snyderverse restored, you will have to accept it on the outside of the main continuity. If you want Snyder back, you may have to forego his original plans, or we may have to accept his time has come and gone. Regardless of how this all pans out though, there's no reason to be anything but happy and excited about all this information. Finally, Cavill is back in the cape.